So he was rude to the go-kart guy multiple times. No please, no thank you. Then he's rude to the restaurant staff. And you should have seen these people behind there, like the dirty looks that they were giving him. They were turning around and giving him very dirty looks. So he was rude to the go-kart guy multiple times. No please, no thank you, no politeness at all. And then as he's going into the restaurant, he lets his son get his dirty, sandy shoes all over the floor.
Who cares? Just track it in.
Completely inconsiderate. And then he films. It's a full house. I've got a full deck of cards in this video. In such a short video, in just a minute, you can show him being completely rude to the Filipinos, completely rude in another way to the Filipinos by letting sand go all through their shop, and then being a complete creep. He can't help himself. Today, I have a couple of clips that put Tim K's rudeness on full display. And at the end, we're going to see a little bit of creepiness. It's actually quite a lot of creepiness. He films women in their bikinis on the beach for some reason while he's sitting there with his wife and son. Very creepy. So right here, you can see Tim K goes round the corner too quickly, doesn't steer. I think he does steer, but the go-kart can't actually handle the amount of weight that he's putting on it.
Well, in a strange turn of events, I'm the one that's stuck on lap 1.
In a strange turn of events, I am the one that's stuck. Yeah, Tim, because you're too heavy for the go-kart.
Yeah.
And then the guy comes over and says, slow down a little bit on the corners, sir. And Tim K just says, yeah. This guy has had to come out, push him back, and get him going again on the dangerous course, right? Tim K doesn't even say thank you. He doesn't say sorry. If I was in that situation, I would apologise, and then when he gets me going again, I'd say thank you and make eye contact, you know? These are things that I've been brought up to do. But Tim K doesn't appear to have been brought up to do any of that, or he's gone over to the Philippines deliberately to treat people like this, to feel like he's better than everyone else. Because he couldn't get away with that in America. People would think he's rude, and in some situations he'd get called out on his bullshit. Because people are just as big as him over there, and people generally call people out a little bit more often. You know, 1 in 100 people in America might call you out, whereas over here 1 in 10,000 will call you out, right? So Tim K is some kind of narcissist where he genuinely believes that he's better than everybody here. Right, guys, I think Tim K is allergic to saying thank you.
Woo.
Thank you.
All right, my friend.
Woo, all right, my friend. That all right, my friend, is probably the most polite thing I've ever seen Tim K say. But he could have said thank you here, but instead he just says, woo, all right, my friend. Like, come on, dude, just be polite. It's like this guy, he genuinely believes that this guy is there to serve him. Like he's a royalty, and he doesn't need to say thank you or be polite at all. Right, here, we are going to see Tim K's son have loads of sand in his shoes, and Tim K says, don't worry about it, just drag it through the fucking shop. Not even joking.
Yeah, that's a lot of...
That's a lot of sand, Bill.
Yeah.
Who cares? Just track it in. Who cares? Just track it in.
Who cares? Just drag it in.
We're some dirty, nasty guests.
Are we going to...
We're some dirty, nasty guests. Well, Tim, you don't have to be a dirty, nasty guest, you know. You can be a clean, polite guest if you want to be. But no, you deliberately want to be a dirty, nasty guest. What is your fucking problem, dude? Just get all the sand out of... Can't you bend down and get all the sand out of his shoes and just smack him on the step a little bit?
Yeah.
Who cares? Just track it in.
He is just so rude. People could just clean up
We're
after
some
me.
dirty, nasty guests.
Are we going to...
I walk around and people just clean up after me. Because that's just what people do. That's what these people are supposed to do, aren't they? And it gets even worse. Now he's going to put his creepiness on full display. Now, in this clip, he's going to be sitting there with his family, and then he's just going to start recording women in their bikinis on the beach. Why? Why does he feel the need to
Later, just wait.
record women in their bikinis on a beach. You know why? I know why. Because he said himself that his demographic is men of between 45 or 55 to 75, right? His main audience is middle-aged to old men.
So I say to my core audience, you guys who are 55 to 75, let me know if you're not.
Right? And what we know about middle-aged to old men, and also these middle-aged to old men, they're in America, England, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. In his own words, he says that, right? So do you know what that means? That means that they like this stuff, and he knows it. So that's why he posts shit like this. He couldn't get away with this if most of his viewers were like my age, between the ages of like, you know, anything under 40, you genuinely wouldn't be able to get away with this, because it's like, what are you doing, Tim? Why are you recording a woman laying down in a bikini and then a woman walking across the beach in a bikini? Why did you feel the need to include that? And it's because he objectifies women, as well as looking down on Filipinos. He completely objectifies women. He looks at them as they are his sexual objects. He's just one of these creeps that gets these. I wouldn't be surprised if earlier on in his life he was one of these guys that did upskirt videos. You know, these creeps that go out in public and just record females, because he's already doing it under the guise that he's got a YouTube channel. And I've got a YouTube channel, I'm just getting content. You know, imagine if he was 20 years old. This is just creepy stuff. I'm sorry that I've had to put it on the screen and replay it so much. It isn't that big a deal, but as I've said before, it just reinforces the idea that Tim K is a creepy guy. This is what creepy guys do. I would deliberately not film something like this, you know? I would go out of my way to not film something like that because it's creepy. You know, there's a female there, let them walk across the beach and then film. But then there's also another female behind the female walking across that beach in her bikini. You know, he's deliberately done it. It's like he's filming wildlife. That's what it is from his perspective. And there we go, guys. That was another Tim K video. So, quick checklist. So, he was rude to the go-kart guy multiple times. No please, no thank you. Then he's rude to the restaurant staff. And you should have seen these people behind there, like the dirty looks that they were giving him. They were turning around and giving him very dirty looks. So, he was rude to the go-kart guy multiple times. No please, no thank you, no politeness at all. And then as he's going into the restaurant, he lets his son get his dirty, sandy shoes all over the floor.
Who cares? Just track it in.
Completely inconsiderate. And then he films. It's a full house. I've got a full deck of cards in this video. In such a short video, in just a minute, you can show him being completely rude to the Filipinos, completely rude in another way to the Filipinos by letting sand go all through their shop, and then being a complete creep. He can't help himself. What is wrong with this guy?
Who cares? Just track it in.
I kind of want to watch him struggle.